I'm just your average, snack-loving, adventure-chasing golden dog. And guess what? My best friend Dad and I go on the coolest adventures. We've got a big black Jeep named Birdie, a whole world to explore, and, of course, plenty of snacks. Every week is a brand new tail-wagging adventure. You never know what we'll find. Hidden carrots, new friends, maybe even buried treasure. So grab your hat, pack your snacks, and come with us.
Harley and Dad go mudlarking. One morning, after a big pancake breakfast, Dad placed a pair of bright yellow rubber boots next to Harley. Harley's ears perked up. Boots? Does this mean puddles? Adventure? Where are we going, Dad? Dad chuckled as he ruffled Harley's soft golden fur. Today, buddy, we're going mudlarking. Harley tilted his head so far sideways he almost toppled over. Mudlarking? What's that? Sounds messy. I like it already. Dad grinned. It's an old word. People used to search the muddy banks of rivers when the tide went out, looking for treasures that got lost over time, like old coins, buttons, pottery, even ancient things. It's part history, part treasure hunt, and very muddy. Harley's tail thudded against the floor. Treasure? Adventure? Mud? This is the best day ever! Dad laughed and pulled out a second pair of boots, special dog-sized ones, bright yellow just like his, one for each foot. Harley clumsily wriggled into them, slipping and sliding across the floor, looking like a wobbly duckling. Perfect, Dad said, grabbing his backpack. Let's go find some treasure, partner. They rumbled along in Birdie, their big black Jeep, the windows down and the morning sun sparkling on the river. Dad parked near an old trail leading down to the riverbank. The tide had gone out, leaving wide stretches of shimmering muddy land. Harley bounded forward only to sploot face first into the mud. Worth it, he barked happily, his yellow boots already covered in gooey brown sludge. Dad followed, careful but grinning. First rule of mudlarking, Harley, you gotta look closely. Treasure hides where you least expect it. Harley nodded and took another careful step forward, leaving one boot behind stuck in the mud. He turned around to look at it, shrugged, and ran forward with 3 boots. Harley sniffed eagerly, his nose twitching with excitement. At first, they found little things, a bent rusty spoon, and another spot to lose a boot. A colorful piece of broken pottery, with blue and white swirls like the sky, and another spot to lose a boot. A tiny glass marble, sparkling in the sunlight, and yup, a spot to lose the final boot. Good nose, buddy, Dad said, slipping the treasures into a small canvas bag. But then, just as Harley was sniffing near a cluster of old river rocks, his paw hit something hard. Clink! Harley froze, ears perked. He dug frantically, spraying mud everywhere, and accidentally covering Dad in a fine splatter. Hey! Watch the mud, Dad laughed, stepping back. Harley kept digging until a green glass bottle popped free from the mud. It was sealed with a crusty old cork, and inside, rolled up tight, was a piece of paper. A bottle, Harley barked, with a letter inside? Dad knelt down wide-eyed. Not a letter, buddy, a map. He carefully pulled the cork loose and shook the paper out. They laid it flat on a clean rock. It was yellowed with age, edges curling, but sure enough, a hand-drawn map showed a part of the river, and a big X marked near an old fallen tree. Harley danced in circles, his toes squelching in the mud. A real treasure map! I knew it! I'm basically a pirate now! Dad laughed. Come on, Captain Harley. Let's see where it leads. The two of them followed the muddy shoreline, squishing and sloshing. They passed old driftwood, a crumbling brick wall, and a flock of seagulls who eyed them suspiciously. Finally, they spotted it. A huge, gnarled old tree up on the bank, its roots sticking up like giant claws. That's the one, Dad said, holding up the map. Harley charged ahead, nose to the ground, sniffing furiously. He pawed and dug under the roots, mud flying everywhere. Clunk! Another sound! Harley barked excitedly and kept digging until his paws uncovered a small, rusty tin box. Dad pried it open carefully. Inside they found a handful of old coins, their designs faded but still shiny, a brass compass, its needle still spinning, and a tiny leather pouch filled with marbles and tiny carved animals. Harley stared at it all with huge, amazed eyes. "Real treasure," he whispered. Dad smiled. "Real treasure, buddy. Looks like someone buried it a long time ago. Maybe a kid who wanted to hide their best toys, or a little adventurer like you." Harley puffed out his chest proudly. "I knew these boots were lucky." After a long, muddy, glorious day of exploring, Dad sat on a big flat rock by the river, cleaning off their finds with a towel, and Harley trotted around, gathering up his stuck boots. Back at home, Dad and Harley sat on the porch. The sun dipped low and turned the sky pink and orange. Harley leaned against Dad, still a little muddy, and his heart was completely full. "Can we go mudlarking again, Dad?" Dad smiled, slipping an arm around his best buddy. "You bet, Harley." "Today was the best day ever," Harley sighed. He closed his eyes, dreaming of treasure maps, rubber boots, and muddy rivers, ready for whatever adventure tomorrow might bring.
What a great day that turned out to be! Best day ever! I can't wait until next week when we go on another adventure. Make sure you click subscribe so you can join me, and like my video too, please, because I sure like you. See you next week, friends!